Well, as we've been telling you since the top of the hour, the votes are still coming in right now for the race of New Jersey governor. And here's a look at the count as we speak. 22% of the precincts are in. Phil Murphy, the governor, still in front. This here, a 3-point lead, 51 to 48%. We're going to break this down so far tonight with Dr. Will Veyga from William Paterson University, longtime political observer in the state. So it's early. Any surprises? Is this about to form as you expected?
Yeah, I mean, it's early right now. I think the way it's going, it's too early to tell, right? I mean, it's what districts are in, whether some of them are rural or some of their suburban areas are in and are being tabulated. So at this point, I wouldn't put too much stake at a 3% swing. I still think it will be a little wider of a margin for the incumbent, but we will see. We'll monitor it through the night and we'll go from there, of course. What are you looking at as a political insider? What kind of signs are you looking for here throughout the evening? Sure. So I think that if it holds, if the predictions hold and Governor Murphy does hold on to the lead, I think how big the margin is will be key. Does he win by more than, let's say, 5%? Does he actually hold the 8 to 10% that the polls have actually been giving him thus far? And also, what does the state legislature look like? You know, do the Democrats pick up any additional seats, or do the Republicans actually are able to carve out any seats from there? Additionally, what do the questions responses look like from the referendums for the state? There are a couple of things that are at play in New Jersey right now that will be to some degree bellwethers for the country as a whole. If he wins by a thinner margin, what does that mean? It could mean a couple of things, right? It could mean, first of all, it could be an indictment or somewhat of a temperature check on the first year of the Biden presidency. It could also mean a true temperature test on Governor Murphy and how people have seen the handling of his administration. COVID in a vacuum, but also some of his policies, his very progressive policies. And at the end of the day, how that fares for New Jersey, a state that has really trended very democratic over the last 20 years. So it could be a conflation of things, but we can't observe them all in a vacuum. We have to see where those votes have been picked up and where those votes have been lost. So I think we want to slice and dice the data as it comes in.
A lot has been made about the fact that there's not been a Democratic governor winning back-to-back terms in New Jersey for, since the 70s.
That's right.
But that's sort of coincidental, isn't it?
Yeah, there's obviously, I mean, I think that when you look at it that way, yeah, it's been since 1977. But we look at the last two that did not make it, right? And one of them happened to coincide with the big bubble burst and the economic depression or the downturn in 2008.
John Corzine.
That's right. That's John Corzine. And the one before was somewhat of a unique situation in Governor McGreevey. So when you start looking at why it has happened, yes, it's true that at the end of the day, it's been since the 70s, but why it happens is just as important as the timeline. Equally as consequential or inconsequential is the factoid that 7 out of the last 8 governor races in New Jersey and Virginia have been going to the same party, except for one, the re-election of the governor, of Chris Christie. So when you look at it that way, you would want to say, well, from a trend analysis perspective, maybe this time it will go around the same way, but it maybe was just so happened that it was coincidental more than anything else.
Tonight, it looks like the Republican wins in Virginia. At least that's the way the projections are going so far. So that's where we stand right now.
Definitely true. Let's keep our eyes peeled, and we'll see. There's a lot of nights still to come. I saw that Richmond is still being tabulated, and we'll see.
All right.
No. It'll keep us busy at least, right?
Absolutely.
Will Veyga, appreciate the insight.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
All right.